Am I the asshole for pulling out of planning my sister's wedding, causing her to lose her venue? As a wedding planner who has been in the industry for many years now, my party trick amongst close friends and family is being able to guess how long my clients' marriages will last with pretty alarming accuracy. If you ask anyone in the industry, there are specific indicators while working with a couple that allow us to be able to gauge compatibility. I can usually get down to around a 6-month window when predicting when photos of each other will disappear from socials. This is not me taking joy in crashing and burning of relationships. Working in this career field can actually leave you feeling jaded about relationships in general, which is why I'm reluctant to work for friends and family. The specific stress wedding planning puts on some couples can bring out the worst in them that you don't see in everyday life. My sister is getting married early next year and practically begged me to plan for her despite my stance on clients I know personally. I finally gave in and we began the process back in March. Last week, while we were meeting and finalizing a few things, she asked me about the party trick I mentioned. She said since I had been working with her and her fiancé for months now, I could give my prediction as to how long they were going to last. I laughed and tried to move on. I thought she was joking, but she continued to press the issue. After her continually bothering me about this for at least 15 minutes when I'm trying to move on, I do have work outside of my specific appointment with her that I needed to get to. I finally told her I thought they would last forever. She claimed she didn't believe me and wanted my real number. So I shrugged and told her the truth: a year and a half. She was livid. I felt incredibly uncomfortable with the whole ordeal, especially with how little she respected my boundaries in what is supposed to be a professional setting, and just tried to usher her out of my office. Instead, she began ranting about my own marriage and said she gives us until the end of the year before we break up, and accused me of being a homewrecker. She finally left, and I emailed her saying I would no longer be involved in planning. I gave her the contact information for all of the vendors we were working with, but told her the venue would no longer be available as they only book to people they have existing relationships with, and my involvement was necessary. I have had to break up with clients before, but this felt particularly rough. She has now told our parents that I am purposefully sabotaging her wedding, and that I was unforgivably rude to her when she just asked a playful question. I feel very silly for letting a person disrespect my boundaries over and over again. Something I typically wouldn't tolerate. But now I'm wondering if I'm in the wrong. Am I the asshole? Update in a year and a half whether your number was accurate. If you push and push to be told information, you alone are responsible for the consequence that hearing it brings. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She pushed. You gave a perfectly acceptable answer of forever, to which she didn't like that and wanted a real answer. But what would she have been happy with? 20 years? 10 years? It sounded like she is a constant boundary pusher. You didn't want to plan the wedding, but she pushed it. You didn't want to answer the question, but you pushed it. This is on her. That said, don't expect your family to see it that way. They probably will take her side because people enable shitty behavior from brides. Good luck. I think you missed an opportunity with your sister. Either she feels uncertain in her choice, or she thinks you disapprove of her choice. She was ineptly looking for a real connection with you. So of course the flip year and a half hurt. Alternative responses. Why are you worried about this? Do you think I don't like groom? Or do you have doubts? How long do you think you'll be together? I would never presume to judge your relationship. But sometimes you've seemed unhappy about X. Is that still worrying you? Not the asshole. You told her you didn't want to plan her wedding. And she badgered you into doing it anyway. You didn't want to tell her what you thought the relationship length would be. And she harassed you into telling her anyway. She then threw a tantrum at your place of business, which could be very damaging to your business and your relationships with other clients and vendors. Why did the argument with your sister instantly lead to you stepping down as wedding planner? Knowing the venue situation. Genuinely asking for your perspective. I'll be honest, it seems a bit rushed, being heat of the moment, which makes it seem like a potentially petty move as opposed to giving it a night to be sure of your course of action. Of course, it also just be decisive action based on your own intuition, self-awareness. So just curious to know, as it impacts my vote. You're the asshole for the loss of venue. There are ways you could have backed off and still salvaged that. Leaving her in the lurch was not cool. Regarding the breakup prediction. Both sides are terrible, her for pushing and you for even advertising this trick and giving in. Not the asshole. I don't blame you for not wanting to work for friends and family. This is the perfect example of why you need that rule. I think you should stop playing this party trick with anyone. Even if you're accurate. It's not a nice thing to say about people. You could have avoided this whole scenario if you never played mental games with people's lives. Now, of course your sister is an R for pushing and pushing. But you should never have told her the truth. She was childish and stupid to push the point. And her abuse is wildly inappropriate. But you didn't have to give her your real answer, especially given that it's such a speculative non-factual question, and you didn't have to pull the rug out from under her whole wedding plan. She only has herself to blame for pushing you for an answer. But your party trick is problematic. You say you take no joy in it. But honestly, it feels like a pretty SHTTY thing to do. If you really take no joy in it, then stop doing it. Stop telling people you can do it. Keep it to yourself. Also, I understand you dropping out of the wedding, but was letting her lose the venue absolutely necessary? Could you not have just let her use your name for the purposes of keeping the booking? Not the asshole. Your sister sounds like a pushy, selfish, self-absorbed nightmare with zero respect for boundaries. You are not in the wrong, but she'll be even angrier when you are proven correct with your prediction of marriage longevity. Steel yourself. You'll only be tar if you don't learn from this to protect yourself and hold firm to your very reasonable boundaries going forward. You're the asshole. That's a really bad party trick for a wedding planner. I don't care if she pushed you. You don't tell your sister, you give it a year and a half. That's a horrible thing to say, and it's basically like wishing a bad omen on them. Just stop with your cute little shenanigans. Not the asshole. But I really would like to know the behaviors and incidences that led to the 1.5 years prediction. Please. Oh. You know you're here because you're the asshole. Seriously, dude. You work in event planning and you haven't learned how to graciously lie. This is not the was I correct? This is am I the asshole? I did 20 years in hospo and ran a wedding venue for a couple of those years, and you and I both know that a positive lie trumps the truth with every bride when it comes to this kind of question. Is this really the bridge you want to burn with family? Because you are being an R here.